In today's video, we are talking about two things. The first one is, why is it that when women choose to stay single, men, even some women, they are uncomfortable about the decision? And the second video is, why is it that parents always advise their daughters when their daughters be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do so thing, they be like, wait till you get married. They always tell them, wait till you get married before you do some certain things. This is the conversation we are having in today's video. But first, let's watch this first video and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
One of the things that I hear a lot from people in regards to women who choose to be single is that somehow we are bitter or traumatized and we've been hurt before, and that's why we've decided to be single. You know what? That may be the case for some women. Some women have decided that, you know what, I'm going to take myself out the game because this is just too much for me. But in my experience, both personally and professionally, a lot of women are choosing to be single because of the fact that they are much healthier and happier with themselves. The thing that I hate most about, this whole idea that, choosing to be single is because of some sort of hurt or trauma, it makes me feel like people are still buying this idea that the default position for women is to be partnered, that that's what we were supposed to do, and your life is not complete unless you have, fulfilled that. As we're seeing, more and more people are deciding to either prolong or forego marriage and children altogether and are doing fine. We're actually thriving. And people are now realizing, oh, so maybe this marriage and kids thing isn't the only way. For some people, that can feel really scary. That can feel really intimidating because that means they'd have to question their own value system, the things that they believe about what a good life is supposed to be. In my, experience, a lot of single women who choose to be single are doing so because they like themselves more as single people, they have a better quality of life as single people, and they really want to focus on building other relationships outside of the romantic context in order to have a more fulfilling life. And I have to say this, um, historically, romantic partnerships, marriages are really, really based around women's labor. And I know some people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but a lot of success in the cis hetero relationships that I've seen is based on how much a woman is willing to sacrifice in order to make the relationship work. Guess what? A lot of women ain't trying to do that. They understand that the costs really are not aligned with the benefits, and so they are choosing themselves. And I applaud those who are making that choice. It takes a lot of courage and humility to look at yourself and and be able to say, you know what, all these societal norms don't really work for me. I'm going to choose something different. For those who are threatened by that or who don't understand that, I really want to encourage you to sit with that discomfort and think about what that is. What is making you so uncomfortable about someone else's life choice that is working for them? Is that somehow making you question yours?
I feel like when women decide that they want to stay single by choice, and why it makes some people unhappy is because that is not the norm. It's not the norm thing that we know. So people are they're always they always question that decision. In fact, there's some places that you cannot even open your mouth and say that you don't need a man or you don't want a man. It's like you are not okay. They might even try to start recommending doctors that can check your mental health because they just assume that you're not actually okay. Like that girl is not okay, or like that girl is not she's not really okay, that she needs help. They see it as if you need help because you are not following the crowd. You're not doing the norm, right? And they are very men. Some men might be very uncomfortable because they see that they cannot get hold of you, they cannot control you, they cannot tell you what to do, because for you to say you don't need a man, you can actually do your things yourself. And even some things that you can do yourself, of course you can pay for it and can be done, and they might feel useless. And most of them, in fact, there was a video I saw, they were saying that men were reacting to women saying that they don't need men. They said they will start raping women now if they say they don't need women or they don't need men. So they want us by force. They say, okay, if these women are saying they don't want us, we will start taking them by force with full force. That is, start grip. Normally they've been gripping, But now they want to do it with full force because now most women are now saying, I don't need a man. I don't need a man to survive. And I feel like me personally, I enjoy seeing women that are single and happy by choice because they are trying to prove to society that yes, a woman can actually live a life and be happy without a man. Because normally the way it used to look like is, oh, no matter how successful you are as a woman, they always give you that pity face when you don't when you're not with a man or you're not married. They always say, oh, but she's not married. Ah, hey, yeah, like they always make it look as if it's a very big deal or you are not totally complete as a woman if you don't have a man beside you. And most of the time, because these single ones that decide to be single by choice, they've seen how the whole situation is with the married because there's no how you're married to somebody, your husband is whether he's just doing one thing, whether he's a man child or he's a cheater, is just narcissist. Like there's just so much like you cannot even deal with, right? And you're like, why should I, reduce my lifespan just because I want to be with a man? I can actually just be on my own and be happy and have friends around, right? So I personally enjoy seeing these women that come out because they are trying to break the record. And I feel like it will help other women or other ladies that are growing up to see that, oh, I can actually make a choice to stay single and it's actually a good thing for me, right? So, and there's some women that, always look at them like they're doing something wrong. I feel like those ones, I don't know, will I call it jealousy? Let me read the second video for you also. Watch and I'll be back.
Some brown parents don't realize how damaging it is to tell a girl to wait till marriage to do what she wants to do. So you're telling me I have to wait till I get married to someone to live my life? So, given this idea that we will be allowed to do what we want after marriage, it's assuming that your parents will be the one to choose the person that you're being married to, right? So, if that's the case, why would
Sometimes.
you get me married into a family that has completely different morals than you? In other words, you would get me married into a family that also believes that a woman should wait till marriage to live her life, should only be allowed to do the things she wants to do under the control of a man. So the parents won't have to deal with any of the blame or the consequences
Mm-hmm.
that come with having a daughter in the brown community. Like what? Now, regardless of what your passion is, whether it's going out with your friends or getting piercings or even the smallest thing,
Yeah.
literally the smallest thing can set them off. Like I remember growing up being afraid to do the smallest things because a distant family member or a family friend would have something to say about it. Now it's a different story because I've learned to stand up for myself and I don't take shit from no. But constantly, either in my distant family or other families, I hear that sentence and it's so freaking triggering, like
Yeah.
insanely triggering. Joke or not, you're simply not funny, and it's not something you should be throwing at young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely the hell not. Like, what do you mean I have to wait until I get married to do the things I want? So you're telling me half a girl's life she has to listen to her parents, and then the rest of her life she has to listen to her husband, a random ass man that you decided to pick for her? So where in that life does she get to do what she
What she
wants?
wants.
Literally makes no sense. The logic is so flawed and so sexist. This is why you have so many young girls resenting their loving parent. And they will purposely go against everything you want, even if it's something really good.
This is so true. In fact, I feel like it happens so much in African parents. They always tell their daughters, don't do this, don't do that. Maybe let's talk about piercing. And you as a girl, you just want to get a second piercing or you want to get a nose ring. They tell you, oh, if you do it now, do you think your husband will like it? And by then you don't even have a boyfriend, talk less of husband, and they're already prepping you for the man to be able to decide what you want. And it's so annoying because I feel like that's the way they want, that's the way they've been programming women and girls, ladies, always do things to please men. And we find out that at the end of the day, women don't even have the right to make their choices anymore because all they do is always think about, oh, would this man be okay with the decision I'm making? You see some women be like, oh, I really love wearing let me say wigs. I really love wearing different wigs. I really love, dressing a certain kind of way. But since I married my husband, he doesn't like it. So I changed, or before I married him, I had to change. Or it's just so annoying because we women, they don't just allow us to make this choice. And it's so annoying. That is why most of the time women fall into the wrong hands. Telling your daughter to wait till they get married before they can do some certain things, it's annoying. What if they don't want to get married? What if they don't eventually get married? What if they don't find the person that they want? And the time that they want to do those things, you know, it's already passed. Like, why should I wait for approval of a man that I've not even met to be able to tell me, oh, this is how I want your life to be? So when do I make my own decision? These are the questions that young girls are asking. Let me play this free reaction for you all to watch, and I'll be back at the end of the video.
Some brown parents don't realize how damaging it is to tell a girl to wait till marriage to do what she.
In African households, this is why moving out is such a big deal. And
Yeah.
maybe this can be said for other immigrant households as well. But if you're a daughter, especially a firstborn daughter in an African immigrant household, moving out is such a big deal because
Impossible.
if you're moving out as an unmarried woman to your own house and own space,
Mm-hmm.
this means there's opportunity for you to exercise autonomy, make your own decisions, and not necessarily be connected to the family structure that you
Yeah.
have been brought up in and raised in and have lived in under your parents' roof. Now, as we know, moving out to your own place does not mean you're like disconnecting from your parents completely. But I think psychologically, there is that fear of, oh, when you get independence, when you get financial independence, you'll be different from us or separate from us since you're away from us. When that's not necessarily the case, you're just going to be developing, your own interests, skills, things that you wanted to do as a child that maybe you could not invest in now as an adult. You can not entertain, but engage in that now.
Mm-hmm.
And that for some reason is a scary thought for a lot of immigrant families, of immigrant parents. And I think boundary setting is something as firstborn daughters, as immigrant daughters, and I'm going to speak to women because I feel like our challenge is a bit more different than the men,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously dialogue is free. We can have additional discourse on that. But as firstborn daughters in immigrant households, particularly, it's important for us to settings because the boundaries we help establish makes it easier for our siblings who follow us. So you'll find in a lot of households when the firstborn daughter, breaks free, if you will, the siblings who come after her, they have an easier time, navigating their own independence. But until then, it's pretty it's pretty landlocked. It's pretty landlocked. It's pretty airtight
Yeah.
in terms of freedoms and restrictions you have. And I'm not saying that the boundaries immigrant families or more culturally conservative families have are bad, but I'm saying long term it can be harmful when we are not giving space for firstborn daughters, immigrant daughters, to be able to make our own decisions.
Decision.
Because what I find happens is that a lot of immigrant daughters grow up to be adults who cannot make decisions for themselves and they are handicapped. And it's scary because as an adult, there is no excuse for you to be incompetent, if you will. And society will punish you for being an adult who cannot make your own decisions. So there is
That is
guilt when
that.
you are navigating your own life and having
Mm-hmm.
your own space, but it's very necessary because it's not sustainable to be that controlled and handicapped in a.
I feel like parents are one of the people that contribute to women entering bad marriages because number one, they push you to get married. Number two, they even tell you to stay there regardless. Number three, they don't even let you to know what you want as a person because they always want to tie your decision with a man, and they always try to be like, no matter what you do, even when you're married, some people when you see you do something different, probably you went on low cut, you went to barb your head, like, hope your husband likes it. How does my husband like how does me being on low cut has to do with what my husband like? So they always try to put women in decision attached to a man, like your man must like it, so do whatever your man like. And I feel like that affects women because they tend not to know what they want, they tend not to make their decision themselves. And I feel like that also boils to when a woman now decide that this is what I want and stick to it, people are seeing it as abnormality. They are seeing it as it's not, you are not okay. You're supposed to always please a man. You're supposed to always do everything just for a man. So when they see women decentering men and all that, it's so abnormal. Like, why would you say you want to decenter men? Like, can you, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? They don't see it as, how will you say you want to be single by choice? Why would you say you don't want to have? No, that's not possible as a woman. So I just feel like situations like this will warrant all of this. But then I really love to hear your thoughts about these conversations, these two conversations we had in today's video. You know, as we do it, put your thoughts in comment section respectfully, of course. And yeah, it's your girl Maria David. And thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe, you all. Please subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified when I upload another video. I will see you all in my next one. Stay blessed.